Alright, we are here with another YouTube Live. Just going to get a quick drink of coffee and then we will get started. We notified the Discord, so people should be starting to come in here within the next couple seconds. Alright, so yet again, another exciting day within the crypto markets. BTC took another plunge down, hitting a low of, on some exchanges, as you can see, 37.95. Unbelievable. The low that we had in the bear market of 2018 was 3,200. Not far away, it seems like, right? Because we're already at 38, let's say. 3K is not far away. And the momentum does not really seem to be stopping here, where we're getting a previous support turning into a new resistance. We're making lower lows and lower highs. We did get a decent amount of buy volume when we did hit the 41 level of previous resistance, which is now going to be new support. But crazy stuff happening within the markets. Definitely, you got to be safe. Number one thing, in my opinion, is to just, if you don't know what you're doing at all, don't try to chase. Stay back and be patient. It's really easy to get caught up in the small moves if you're trading the 5 minute because you see these massive swings. But our job as traders is to find the best possible setups that we can. It's not to take as many trades that look good. It's to patiently wait, know exactly what we're looking for, and to stay disciplined and not enter while we're waiting for that specific thing that we're looking for. So a little bit of psychology to start it off, because I know that there is a lot of fear. There's a lot of, I guess, greed if you're buying at these lows, and it saw like a 30-20% increase, 40-50% increase in a matter of a day, let's say. So, you know, if you're leveraged just 2 times or 3 times, you could make upwards of plus 100%. So there's going to be a lot of emotion. There's going to be a lot of swings, both to the upside and to the downside. So we have to do 2 things when we're in these very volatile, emotional states within the market. Number 1 is to reduce position size. Let's say you are trading with, I don't know, for example, 10 grand. You maybe want to, instead of risking 1.8, 1.5, 2% on your total account per trade, try reducing it a little bit, because there is less dependability and less certainty when you are trading very, very volatile markets where there's going to be major swings both to the upside and to the downside. Number 2 would be to then increase the distance from your entry for both the stop loss and the potential take profit, because these moves are going to be so much more aggressive. It makes sense to make both the risk and reward larger, so you are still able to attain that risk reward that you're looking for within the trade system that you are implementing within the market. So basically, that's kind of how you gotta, in my opinion, go about trading these volatile markets. You don't have to just stop trading altogether. In my opinion, I think there are great opportunities within the market, like the short we caught on XRP, but you got to be really patient, you got to be disciplined, and you got to have a set of criteria, not a feeling that you're getting for why you're entering. Very important. So let's look at the BLX chart here. Crazy stuff happening. So this is that green ascending trend line we've been holding for a very long time. We managed to break it. So now we are going to still keep this plotted, but we still have 18 days. Now, in my opinion, we might have to adjust this green ascending trend line, but I think we will get some level of retracement here. Now, I can't project my bias onto the market, like I said before. I have to use the 4-hour and 1 hour to trade my short-term swing trade, day trading situations, because obviously I'm not going to use my monthly to trade a swing trade. It just does not make sense. But looking at where the price is now, we have found some level of support. We see it as a previous resistance back in late 2017, or yes, October of 2017, September of 2017, as we can see right here. And then if we push this out a little bit, it was actually our ceiling of this consolidation we can see right here. So it was first a resistance right here, turned into another resistance with the consolidation we had when their bottom was at the 42 and the top was at like the $4,100 resistance. And then we broke out of that zone, and now we're coming and testing that zone for a new possible level of support. Now at this point, we're looking at the smaller time frames to see how the price is reacting to certain zones. I'm not going to look at the monthly or look at the weekly or even look at the daily and set a limit order or set an order with a market to buy a specific amount just because I think that level will hold. I personally do not think that's enough confirmation for me to enter a price. So I look for already signs within the market. So market structure, price action, VSA. There's three things I look at. So, we know that we're holding a support. There's always a chance to go lower. I can't say that this is 100% the support, and no one can say that this is going to be the support that we're going to bounce and that's going to be the end of it and I'm right. No one can say that. But, if we're really wanting to get aggressive with the down move, I personally do not think so. But, we could get into the $1,200 if we're going to go all the way back down to the previous all-time high, like we can see right here. And then we do have another level around, let's say, 1,800, somewhere around there. We do have a range right around here. So I don't think it'll get to this level, but we do want to be prepared in case of major catastrophe. And you never know. There's a lot of movement in the markets right now with coronavirus spreading and with basically most of China and a lot of countries shutting down, a lot of economic momentum and a lot of economic movement really, where they're shutting down basically all manufacturing or a lot of manufacturing in China to a lot of public events and restaurants and all this stuff, right? And then if you're looking at America, they're shutting down NBA games and they're shutting down a lot of these events that have a lot of people come together at a central location, which is obviously very impactful for the economy because that hires a lot of jobs and those people get money and they could spend that money within the economy, which drives the economy forward. So when people are unable to A, spend money and B, make money, well, obviously that is a major halt in general economics. People are going to be saving as much as they can. They're not going to be wanting to go and spend money on restaurants, food, drinks, anything really. Just the bare bone minimums, just trying to survive until this outbreak kind of starts to roll over here. But in the meantime, people are not going to go outside. They're not going to be spending money. They're not, the economy is slowing down so drastically because of this in many parts of the world. Think of how much product China produces for the globe, right? And a lot of their manufacturing has now halted because they don't want the coronavirus to spread. They're treating it very seriously. They're taking very significant action to try to mitigate or try to help this issue, and which is great. And you do see that there is a top and there is a reduction in the spread increase, which is great, but this has taken a massive impact for the economy, for the manufacturing, for the overall health and productivity of the country. Not just China, but many countries that are affected, obviously. So we'll see how it goes. I do think that the stocks and the overall market will be going lower. It's just a matter of if we will see BTC follow suit with them, or we will see BTC start to gain that level of store value we are looking for. On one note, this is just general market discussion. Gold is also dropping as well. It dropped below the 1550 level of support that we've been holding for a while. on the 4-hour chart. So it's not just Bitcoin that is dropping. So that does say something. It's not like gold is going up and receiving lots of buy volume and BTC is doing what it's doing. We're seeing an entire market shift, market correction to the downside here. So it's not terrible to see because A, cheaper prices, B, as long as not going to be direct correlation, but as long as we're seeing somewhat gold see a similar type of price action compared to BTC when there is market corrections, then I'm not too worried, but that's basically a conversation we're going to have in terms of economics, in terms of more global macro stuff. But back to the charts on the monthly here, we will take it day by day. We do this every single day, but I've drawn in basically what I think are going to be key zones within the chart that we could see hold. But like I said before, we do not want to assume any of these are going to hold. We want to look at the price action on the smaller time frames on the 4-hour and the 1-hour chart to validate that there's buyers within the zone. We want to see supports hold. We want to see volume accumulation. We want to see indications of the bulls pushing the price above resistances, breaking up, seeing increasing buy volume. We're looking for no supply candles. We're looking for indications that there's going to be a shift. So it's not random that we're just going to set random price targets or buy targets. We're going to look at the smaller time frames. So in that said, I think that was a really good overview of the macro view of BTC because we haven't really talked about the supports that we could be holding. Let's just draw in this guy right here just so we know where they are. So basically we got our current level of support, which is around $4,500. Our previous support was initially 77, and then we dropped down to 6K or around 58, and then now we drop down even lower. After this, if it does drop further below the $4,400 level of support, we do have that final level of support that we held back in 2018, 2019 of around 32, let's say $3K to $3,200. So that's going to be the next level of support. If we break that, I would be very, very surprised. But if we break that, our next level is going to be around 2K. And then we got the previous all-time high at around $1,200 back in 2013. So these crazy prices here. In terms of where we are for market structure, we haven't made a lower low, but we've halted to make a higher high. We haven't even tested the previous high there. So we made lower highs here. So we can just draw that descending trend line there and if we want. And then we'll see if we're able to hold some ascending trend line. We'll see how it goes. We don't know exactly where the price is going to stop. But right there is a potential for a confluence zone with a trend line at this zone. Now, obviously, these are unconfirmed zones because we only have the anchor point and then one zone. So this would be the third touch. So it's not really a dependable zone, but we're just, giving possible ideas of zones of confluence. If it does hold, then it provides more validity as to why it's holding. But for now, we're just looking at the smaller time frames. So hopefully I give you a really good snapshot of the larger time frames within the market. Gonna get a sip of coffee, and then we'll go on and talk about the weekly chart. All right, so we got our zones that we talked about already within the weekly. We got our current potential confluence zone, which is our mid-range zone of sensitivity that is in line with our descending zone of support. As we can see, it's creating a zone of confluence where the price is currently holding on the weekly, right around here. So that could be a potential for a level of support. We don't exactly know. We'll see how the weekly closes. Still got 2 days left and 8 hours until this weekly is complete. So we'll see how it closes. If it closes around where the price currently is, That is an area of support, so it does make sense that there's going to be a candle closure there. Doesn't mean that we're instantly going to see a consolidation. We could just obviously see a continuation dump to the downside. We do want to see how the smaller price action is looking, but overall on the weekly, that could be a potential zone where buyers are going to be at least momentarily holding the price up. For the rest of the zones we've already talked about, we are forming a squeeze between this key level of support, which is around 58, and then the low, which is maybe around 41-ish. So we're creating a consolidation zone, and we can see they're very, very well respected throughout the weekly chart for all the zones that we have identified, even the mid-range zone. And we have the major zones, which are 2 dotted lines, the 3 major zones right here. And then we have the minor zone, which is just the gray area, which is creating our zone of confluence. Very, very simple. That's kind of all we're drawing on the chart. And then we have our descending zone creating another level of support. Kind of all we're going to talk about for Coinbase on the weekly. Not a whole lot more to discuss other than our key level of supports that we are looking at. So we'll see how it holds. Obviously, there's not a whole lot more to talk about on the weekly because this hasn't closed yet on this candle. Now going on to the daily. So we do see the price hold on the CME Futures Exchanges, this Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Not a whole lot more to talk about. We do see that we're locating the exact same zone as the weekly here on the CME Futures, and it does show a level of confluence at around the 49.80-ish level of support. And we'll just see how this candle closes. We got 4 hours and 47 minutes until this daily candle closes. So we will see how this reacts to the price. Or the price area, I should say. So the next chart we're going to be looking at is the Gemini Exchange. Look at that volatility. Massive, massive amounts of volatility. If you can't tell, we have the open right here. It went as high, or the open was at 48.30 and went high as let's say 6K. And then it went as low as 3,900. So in a single day, the price managed to move 53% in a single day. That's crazy. So needless to say, there's lots of volatility. So we have to keep that in mind. But in that said, we do see that we are holding a key level of support, and the fact that we do see lots of transactions taking place around this zone does give us a decent confirmation that we know that there is interest in buyers within this area, especially because this current candle has so much volume coming in, showing that the bulls are holding this price at this zone. So I'm definitely wanting to see the price kind of close this daily candle because it was such a volatile candle. You know, we've been doing really well this month, and it doesn't hurt to be a little bit more patient when you are doing well, letting the price kind of take the lead and then you just follow what it's doing. But sometimes, especially when market conditions are this volatile, it sometimes pays to be patient because not losing money on a day feels almost just as good as making money on a day. To be completely honest, not always, but it definitely feels good to not take a trade and then see that trade not come through and then know the reasons why you didn't take it and then be proud of yourself for being patient. Feels almost just as good as maybe not taking a profitable trade that hits all your take profits, but maybe like a 1 or 2 take profit trade. But overall, we're trying to be pretty emotionless throughout the market. So in terms of the daily chart on Gemini, we've kind of already talked about the different opportunities here. I think what we could see is we do see that there's a level of resistance right here where we got the wicks to bounce right off of, which is around the $5,800 level of resistance. We could see some level of consolidation here because we see a lot of buyer and seller movement, both from the downside and to the upside. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some sort of consolidation here. We could see a nice price action pattern that we could trade that has some volatility. But right now, look how volatile that daily candle is. We'll zoom into the smaller time frames, but we do have to be very cautious when we are trading within these markets. Giving enough spread between the stop and limit price with your stop losses is very, very vital. Now, just going to skip the Heiken Ashi. Really, we don't really need to talk about it. We know that we're in a consolidation and we know that we're in a downtrend, which is exactly what this is telling us. Not really anything interesting for us to learn from that. Now going on to the 4-hour chart for BTC, we do see that we are holding this descending trend line that we talked about, which was this descending trend line right here. So it is respecting pretty well as a nice level of support. So that's something to consider. That in itself will not give me enough confirmation. So I will want to see on smaller time frames the price hold, giving me no supply candles, giving me confirmation in all three pillars that we're looking for, that the sellers are weakening and the buyers could be taking charge soon enough here. So the 4-hour doesn't give me a whole lot of information. We do see that the buyers definitely seem to be present within the market. Look how much buy pressure there is right here. Overall, very strong. We do see a no demand candle right here on this doji, and then we saw a bearish engulfing candle after, but it did not go below our current level of support. So it's definitely something to consider. The fact that, look how fast that we were dropping, and then we just suddenly get a decent amount of sell volume coming in, but we're unable to go below this level. So that just shows that we do have buyers within this area that's holding the price up. So with how the 4-hour looks right now, we tried to make an attempt down. We failed. The buyers were there. The buyers stopped the sellers from taking it to the next low. So we could see a consolidation if the buyers are still present and trying to purchase the coin or purchase the asset at these lows here. So if it does make another attempt, we'll see how it goes. I do think that an entry around these highs, 57, 58, would be a pretty good opportunity for a short, because I do think that the sellers have obviously major control of the market, and they'll probably try another attempt to push the price down. This is their first attempt with this bearish engulfing candle to make a lower low. Could not do it. It got halted here pretty quickly, but obviously the next candle hasn't been closed, so we could see another attempt here in the near future. Now talking about the 1-hour time frame. Let's discuss this with a snip, because that's obviously very useful. So just market structure. We made a high, we made a low. We made a lower high, we made a lower low. We made a lower high. The next attempt is to drive the price to the lower low. So that means if the price is able to hold this support, well, that means there's lots of buyers within the market, because we know that due to market structure, the sellers are going to try to make this lower low. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be at that $2,800 zone. It could be at 32. That would make sense. 34, that would make sense, because it was a previous support, as we can see within the smaller time frames. So we're going to try to make this lower low. As we can see within the market structure, we're making lower highs and lower lows, like we talked about. We're going to get an attempt. And I think if we do get a break, yeah, we'll definitely try to get to that 32 level of support right here. But let's say we actually don't break and we get the price to hold this zone. Well, then we know that there's buyers here, right? So that means that if we get some momentum to the upside, well, they're going to be making money, and we know that there's interest because the price has been holding all this time. And hopefully, by the time the price is in this range, we get some no supplies. If you don't know what that is, either YouTube it or ask us. It's very important for our VSA analysis. We're looking for no supplies. We're looking for a reduction in sell volume. We're looking for an increase in buy volume. We're looking for volume accumulation within the price action and the volume. And we're looking for bullish engulfing candles. There's a lot of things we're looking for within the price action, but we know what they are, which is the main thing. We have a set of criteria, and we're going to act on it if it does come into fruition. Overall, that's basically the trade plan for a potential long, but basically for any shorts, I'm basically looking to short around this zone right here, around 59. That was really, really terrible clicking. I didn't even get a single arrow there. Basically, what we're looking for is to short near this key level of resistance around 59, 58, because he was a previous level of support, new level of resistance, new level of resistance, so that we have a high dependability that there's going to be sell pressure around that zone. It's also a historic zone. The final area that the price could technically hit is right here, because that could technically be within the consolidation instead of right here, but we've already seen a rejection once from the sellers, which is right here. And if we get another attempt to bring the price back up, and if we get another rejection at this zone here, that for me is double confirmation. We could probably draw a trend line here. And if we break, that would be, in my opinion, a good opportunity to be entering short with the take profit at the previous low, because that would be a potential double bottom. And if it breaks, it's great, but that would be, in my opinion, a good level of take profit. So for shorts, that's basically what I'm looking for. I don't want to, in my opinion, wait for this. Like, I don't want to enter here because that could just be kind of a hold within the support. It's a little bit messy. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be entering short at a potential support, even if it's lower. I want to be entering shorts at the highs here. This is my ideal entry for a short, somewhere around here. So what I'm looking for an entry is for the price to come back, test this high, get another failure where the sellers are taking control. We're looking for no demand candles on this current push. We actually got a significant amount of candles to push, or significant amount of volume to push the price up. We do see that the final candle on the push up saw a lot of buy volume, not what we're looking for. So hopefully if we do get the price to push back up here, the next set of volume candles when we are near the top is going to be some no demand candles with some bearish engulfing candles with more sell pressure, signaling that the bears are in control. That would be our entry, but stop loss here. First take profit, second take profit, somewhere around there. And we can call it a day, and we'll just patiently wait until the market does what it does. So that's for me is the opportunity of the day, in my opinion. You know, if it does this, that could be a potential, but I think that obviously we'd be waiting for multiple days. But in terms of today, what we could see, I think this is going to be the opportunity of the day where we get a double top. We're looking for confirmation that there's a lack of demand at that second top. We're looking for no demand. We're looking for maybe a miniature double top within that double top like this, breaking a previous support. That would be a good indication that there's sellers within the market. We're looking for bearish engulfing candles within this zone. We're looking for volume, market structure, and price action. So that's basically the overall trade for BTC. Not really going to get too much more in depth because we basically exactly know where we're looking to achieve in order to get a good entry at this zone. And we can zoom in a little bit more just to get a good understanding of where we are. So we got to push down, hopefully going to get a pullback here to retest these zones, and we're going to get a lack of demand when we are at these zones. And if we do get that, well, then we have a pretty juicy area for an entrance. Even if we enter all the way down here, you know, our risk reward is still looking very, very favorable. Risk reward of 2 at a minimum. As we can see, even if we enter all the way down here, let's say we break this little minor level right here yet again. So let's just talk about it on the 15-minute chart. Because right now, this current level of risk reward is at 2, which is for us kind of a minimum. So let's say we get the price to come back here. That's kind of what we're looking for, ideally. And on the larger time frames, we see 1 rejection and we see 2 rejections, making a major double top. And then within the small time frames, maybe we'll see another double top within the larger double top. And then if we are able to get a previous support, new resistance entry right around here, obviously that would be a pretty phenomenal entry for us to be entering in. So we'll look for something along that line, or if we get a pullback here and then we start seeing like a weakening where we start seeing very, very small candles making a little move and then coming back down with like no real bodies, just kind of like dojis kind of making a slow turn. That for me would be an indication that there's weakness, and then I just look for no demand candles at this zone, and then I'd say previous resistance, new same level of resistance, and it was a key level within the price action as well. So that for me would be another opportunity. We'll see how the price action reacts to this zone if it does come back. But we'll see how it goes. I will let the Performante Premium members know of any entries that I will have. But that's basically the trade that we're going to be looking for BTC. Not a whole lot more to discuss here. We will get into the tools right after I drink a little sip of coffee. And Z said, "Yo, Keith, what is good?" What's up, man? Hopefully you just got that. We're looking for that potential double top on BTC. Looking for that entry kind of near that resistance of $5,800. Really, really good risk reward parameters in terms of like if it does extend and make that lower low. Just in terms of where we are right now for a minimum level of take profit, you're looking at 20%. Yes, you are risking like 9%, and you're making 19. Reduce your position size by 10, right? So then you're risking 1% and you're making 2. Very, very simple solution. Or you could do it by whatever amount you want, so then you know exactly how much you are risking per trade. And if it extends down further, well, then we have a phenomenal risk reward. And at the lows here, it's looking at a 3-to-1. And then beyond that, it's obviously just phenomenal. But at this point in time, we're going to be patient. We don't need to trade every single day. We are having a pretty phenomenal week so far, so we want to stay patient. We want to keep level-headed. We want to ensure that we are still taking only the highest probability trades that we can find, leaving everything else for all the other retail traders to trade all they want. I don't care. All I'm looking for is exactly what I see, and if I don't see what I'm really specifically looking for, I will not enter. There's always going to be an opportunity as a trader, maybe not tomorrow, but in the near future, as long as you don't have some crazy criteria that takes years to hit. If you have some criteria that is able to hit pretty regularly, also if you're on trading smaller time frames, you will get a setup that is very favorable, and you just have to trust in the market that it will give it to you, and have the patience to sit through price movement while you're waiting. Like, you can see this move all day long, right? Like, if it goes from where it currently is to the support without pulling back for a double top, that for me is not enough validation, so I wouldn't enter. But if you still see that, you're seeing that 20% move, and you're seeing that money made, and you're like, damn, I wish I entered that. But if it's not within your criteria, you don't want to enter because you don't have an edge, or you have less of an edge. And the whole point of being a trader is to find your edge, and then to actually implement that edge, and to actually have enough discipline to stick within that scope of edge that you're trading. So very important. So hopefully for other people that are students within Performante Premium, you do understand that we don't need to trade every single day to make money month over month. There are days when the market may not present anything, and those are the days that you can backtest, review your trades, look back at previous trades, analyze the market, just do things that will help you, but not necessarily trade live, because you don't need to trade live every single day. If you see nothing, walk away, do something else, go read a trading book, go do something go spend time with your friends and family. There's other things in life other than trading, but that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I don't see anything crucial happening. So, might go to the gym a little bit later. It's only 9:30, but we got a little bit of time before BTC does potentially pull back for that double top. And if that does form, then I'll be right on the computer, really, really looking, being focused at a potential entry. But if it's just consolidating at this mid-range area right here, I personally don't feel like I don't have enough edge in the market to risk money. So hopefully you guys understand, because as a trader, patience is probably one of the most important things that I've learned. And it relates to all aspects of life, not just trading. But you just got to be patient. It's very, very, very important as a trader. So now we will move on to the tools that we use within the market to analyze the supply and demand. First off, we are going to be looking at the margin trades that are both open on Bitfinex, both long and short. So let's zoom out a little bit here. I think that's a all right view. It's not perfect. Very, very messy to kind of the left of the chart, but we kind of need to just look at the right. So we can see the buyers have really just not taken any interest in holding this level of support, broke right back down below the key level of resistance. We talked about this. There was a key level of resistance that the price was holding above. Well, the confidence or the amount of margin trades open that are long was holding above, and it currently just broke that zone, signifying there's a lack of confidence from the bulls, not able to hold the price above that level. So actually having the price go below this zone does signify that there is a reduction in confidence, and for me, not looking great for the bulls. So in my personal opinion, I think longs are not looking phenomenal. We will see how the price reacts within the consolidation, but at this point in time, definitely seeing a lot of weakness within the buyers. Now, compare that to the sell side, we see, yes, there was a massive drop in June/July, and there has been a resistance hit multiple times right here. We see lots of pressure from the buyers push the price right back down. But now we're seeing this area get tested again with lots of aggression to the upside. We have seen this before within 2020 even, like with this massive move up here. But this is a pretty significant aggressive move to the upside here. We will see if it does kind of break this high here, break this level. Definitely a little bit of bad news for the bulls, because obviously with more margin trades open, there's going to be more people making money on shorts, which then would possibly mean that there's going to be more added positions because people are making money, people are capitalizing, and there's going to be a little bit of greed on the short side as well. But overall, we will see how it goes. One good thing that is presented when you have these types of situations, when you see a lot of short sellers enter the market, is you have an opportunity for a short squeeze. So what this tells me is there is now a decent amount of people that are now in the market short. So if the market does move back towards the upside, they're all going to get squeezed out, and they're going to have to buy out of their positions sooner or later if the price does exponentially increase, which then creates an opportunity for the long side to capture that parabolic move. So right now, obviously, we're still short, but seeing increasing sellers entering the market on margin does give me a little bit of an interest. If there is a quick momentum to the upside, we will see short sellers try to exit their position, which will then increase the price even more. So it's something to consider. It's something to understand, because if it does happen, you know what you're looking for. You know the other outlying factors within the market for supply and demand, not just looking at the price action, but looking at the amount of positions that are opened on long and short, and kind of creating a story within the price action using the tools that we have. Last thing we're going to be looking at is going to be the different exchanges, not just Bitfinex, but also Binance, Bybit, and BitMEX, looking at the percentage of longs and shorts opened out of 100. So it's just the comparison between the positions that are open for the longs and shorts, or bears and bulls, basically. And it's out of 50, or it's out of 100, 50-50, and it just can be balanced either way. So BitMEX is going to be the first because it has the highest amount of volume on the 24-hour exchange. So this is the positions that are opened within a 24-hour time frame. We can see on BitMEX, a little bit more weighted towards the buy side, 52.8% more to the buy side and 47% for the sell side. Binance is a little bit more weighted towards the short side, 50.6 more weighted towards the short side, and then Bybit is basically break even, a little bit more towards the buy side, 50.4, but not a huge discrepancy within Binance and Bybit. BitMEX has the highest discrepancy with 52.8% on the long side. Now looking at the short side, we can see that it's a little bit more weighted towards actually it's pretty even. Basically BitMEX is break even, 50.3 towards the short side, not a huge discrepancy. Binance is actually a little bit more weighted towards the long side, 53%, and then Bybit as well, long side with 54%. So on the short side, on the short time frame, it's looking a little bit more bullish, but on the long time frame, it's definitely looking a little bit more bearish. But the largest exchange, BitMEX, is showing more longs within the 24 hours, so pretty even overall. There's not a major discrepancy of shorts or longs. So we see that price coming in, testing that second high. Hopefully it comes up a little bit higher. That would be a good opportunity for us. But that is the overall crypto market update. What we could do is go over the news as well. I haven't been going over the news as much because not a lot of people reacted to it. I didn't think that it was that interesting in a way. If you do think that it should be incorporated within our crypto market updates on a daily basis, definitely drop it within the comments. But I didn't really catch any feelings of this being beneficial, so I didn't really incorporate it. But we might look at it from time to time, but we're not going to look at it like every single day, like we initially anticipated. So, quickly looking at some stuff within the news here. Binance doubles Ethereum withdrawal fees, firing up crypto traders. So Binance just does not like people withdrawing Ethereum because they need Ethereum for the margin because they need to allow people to borrow. So obviously that makes sense. So it's not good for people who are willing or who are trying to withdraw Ethereum. DeFi giant MakerDAO avoiding shutdown in the face of tanking Ethereum. Wow, okay. Blockchain analyst helps bust Mr. Dark's rape shot. Poor insight. Okay, that's good news for the world. Don't want people like that living. Crypto market meltdown continues. Bitcoin's price drop below 5K. Bitcoin drops to 36.37. Rebounds. So a lot of just market updates here. Bitcoin under 1K is possible, warns veteran trader Peter Brandt. Holy shit, yeah. Like I said, we don't try to take things into too much consideration. Peter Brandt is an obvious, very professional, well-known trader and very, very well-known within the trading world. So what he says has an impact. He says that Bitcoin could go under 1K. Obviously, anything is possible within the markets. We do not want to say that's impossible because people probably thought that it was, like I said, impossible to go from, let's say, $100 for one Bitcoin to 19K or from 19K all the way back down to 3,200. So anything is possible within this market. We do not want to project our bias. We want to trade the market unbiasedly, ideally. And we're not going to look at this and say we're going to only short until it hits 1K. He does not know. He can assume, he can do all the TA he wants, but no one truly knows. So you have to take that into consideration. When someone says, oh, it's going to do this or it's going to do that, well, they don't know. They can make all the speculation they want, but once you actually become a trader, you realize that everything is somewhat speculation. Also, on a side note, gold is plummeting. 1550 to now basically 1500 in a very quick amount of time. Overall market, not looking phenomenal. So, how North Korea laundered $100 million worth of stolen crypto. South Africa looks to blockchain to reduce unemployment. That's some good news here. Bank of England releases discussion paper on CBDCs. BitMEX denies it's made Bitcoin price drop to 3.7K after going offline. Yeah, BitMEX they got some sketchy stuff going on there, man. Some Indian banks are still arbitrarily refusing to process crypto transactions. Edward Snowden feels like buying Bitcoin. Standard Charter joins IBM and Merrick's blockchain shipping platform. I don't know what that is. 2 months ago, Andreas Antonopoulos explained why Bitcoin would crash. Oh, wow. Good for him. That is interesting. I definitely want to read that. Andreas Antonopoulos is a well-known crypto and Bitcoin advocate, or blockchain advocate, I should say. And he's very well-versed in the more technical, fundamental analysis of blockchain and Bitcoin. Very interesting person if you don't know who Andreas Antonopoulos is. If you've been following crypto or Bitcoin for a little while, I'm sure you've seen some of his videos. He's very well known. He's a very informative person who's very unbiased approach to explaining blockchain has helped me understand it as well. So let's move on here. New York regulators require crypto firms to submit coronavirus plans. Wow. Mike Novogratz Novogratz, he's like the billionaire crypto investor, if you don't know who he is, says that investors have lost confidence in Bitcoin. So he's been a Bitcoin bull for a while. He's been a global macro trader, and then he got introduced to Bitcoin, I think in 2014 or something, 2015. But he's well integrated within the whole blockchain crypto space. Illinois can claim abandoned cryptocurrency under new law bill. Claim abandoned cryptocurrency. Wow. Bitcoin insurance funds takes beating as market rout. Ethereum co-founder pronounces 20th century world order dead. Interesting read. I think I'll look at that a little bit later, as well as the other one looking at Andreas Antonopoulos' 2 month ago prediction. Bitcoin bottomed at final capitulation, but 5K dip likely. Tone Vase. I do not know who that is. But some interesting reads here. Take a look if you are within our Discord. If not, check it out. It's our free community that holds over 1,500 members. We post a lot of stuff involving cryptocurrencies, general market conditions. There's a lot that's happened, so we always like to talk about it. We have a lot of different discussions just talking about Bitcoin, different altcoins. We post all of our YouTube videos within our Discord as well. We have stuff for stocks, we have stuff for commodities, forex, general discussion. We have a discussion just for COVID-19. We have one for different blogs, memes, all that stuff. So if you're interested in the markets, if you're interested in learning, if you're interested in getting a second opinion, talking about the markets with people who are interested in it and kind of who are living within every single day, definitely check out the Discord. It's absolutely free to join. Our goal is to try to make it easier for people to navigate within the cryptocurrency markets. Yes, we do have a premium service in which if you would like to fast track your learning abilities and your learning curve, as well as gain access to the trades that we're taking, Performante Premium is a great resource. But if you're just looking to gain a little bit of knowledge and just want a slow build of foundational knowledge, this is a great place. You can ask us questions, and for absolutely free, we'll answer. Our goal is to try to build a community that their goal is to actually help one another, not scam each other or anything, but actually build a community that is nice to each other and is helping each other out and wants to be a part of the community and is a good tight-knit group of individuals that share a common interest in trading, crypto, investing, entrepreneurship, technology, kind of all that kind of jumbled together in one nice, friendly community is what we've built and what we're continuing to build as members sign in, as we get more consistent people to join and interact with every single day. It's looking really phenomenal. So we're very thankful for all the people who have joined and who have contributed and who have engaged with the community. And we really appreciate everyone who's taken the time to answer any questions, who've taken the time to respond to someone. And, we might not say thank you every single time, but we really do appreciate everyone who has helped out within our community. We really do appreciate it. And that's kind of why we post as much as we can for free information to help people. Maybe not always free, but especially for the Performante Premium members, we do try to go above and beyond to help you guys, to kind of give you everything you need to try to make the navigation of the crypto markets as streamless, as painless as possible. Obviously, this is a little bit challenging with the current market conditions. BTC dropping 26% in a day or something, but even just psychological help. We are here to talk. I've traded for years, so I understand drawdowns. I understand being in losing streaks. I understand losing money. It fucking sucks. It's a really shitty feeling, and I understand it very well. Being in the markets for years, you get a good understanding of the pain that you have to go through in order to learn stuff, and it can get a little lonely if you don't have someone to talk to for your trading psychology. You can get into your own little bubble, and that can be pretty dangerous because you get into a little bit of, don't want to say it, but it can be depressing if you're not very good at trading and if you have no one to talk to and if you're just making losing trades. I've definitely been there in the first, let's say, 6 months, a year of trading. I was a super fucking happy person beforehand, and my life shifted very drastically from being like literally the happiest human being that you've seen walking around to a guy who does not want to get out of the bed because he's just literally taking a beating from the markets. And I woke up every single day and still did it. I hated doing it some days because it just sucked, but yeah, it's when you love, that's like Steve Jobs said, you got to love something, not because the world is great and dandy and stuff, or I think that's what Gary said, you got to do what you love, not because the world is all great and it's what you should do, but it's because life is so difficult and it will get so hard that the only way that you'll stick at something is if you truly love it. If you just kind of want it, if you just kind of do it for the money, you'll inevitably hate it. You'll not want to go to whatever you're doing every single day, and you'll inevitably hate doing it. But if you love it at the start, at the times where you hate it, you will still like it. If that makes sense. People who actually love what they do know kind of what I mean in that case. When you hate something, but then you also love doing it. It's a weird feeling, but hopefully some of you understand. So thank you very much for taking the time to join our crypto market update so far. What we will do now is go over the different pairs we have within the market. Also, I will timestamp this for later videos, so that was just like the Discord part, and then now we'll get into the different alts within the market. We will go over all of them just on mainly hour chart because we've gone over them on the daily and the weekly and the 4 hour a lot, and we've just seen a consolidation, and we're seeing basically the same thing on almost every single chart we see. We see Link, reverse head and shoulders, XRP, reverse head and shoulders, EOS, potential reverse head and shoulders, BNB's not really. I think BNB is the only one. If we look at it like that, that looks like a potential reverse head and shoulders as well, kind of like that. But we're holding a potential level of support. We're making lower lows and lower highs. So in terms of the structure of the price action, it looks almost all of them are very, very similar to Ethereum and BTC. So there's not a whole lot of analysis that we can do because they're all basically exactly the same. If you would like analysis done, if you're a Performante Premium member, just let me know and I'll be able to do that with you without any problems. But I think for me personally, I am going to be looking at BTC for a potential short here on the pullback, making a double top. Once we see that there's weakness within that second top, we will attack the price, shorting it, trying to get that price back down to the previous low. That is going to be our move. So not really going to go over it. We've already seen, all of them look very similar. We're looking for a short near the high, basically. And we've already discussed the different scenarios that we could see, so I don't think we need to go over all of them because it's just repetitive, in my opinion. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you do have any questions, drop them in the comments, and we'll be sure to answer them. If you'd like an analysis on a particular coin, message me or just message the VIP channel on our Discord where we have our Performante Premium crypto market updates, VIP general chat. Like for example, Z said, could you request the charts? Basically, Z would like posted charts instead of a video. I can post them before the YouTube video, and then what I did is I just went to BTC Bitcoin markets, and then posted that, and then alternate coins. I posted a couple of them as well, just to give Z a little bit of analysis on one time frame to give him a good overview of the market that we are currently seeing. So we do that for anyone who's a Performante Premium member. We are very active. We are very engaging with our students. So if you do find it useful, definitely check it out. And if you did find this video useful, and if you are continued avid listener and watcher of our information, give us a subscribe if you think that it was if it was informative, or if you thought it was some good information or good value. So going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. We will notify everyone, or at least we will notify the Performante Premium members if we do look for an entry and if we do enter within this range. But right now, we're just patiently waiting, seeing what the market does. It's only 9:50 in the morning, and kind of got the rest of the day ahead of us. We're in no rush to try to enter as fast as we can. We're going to only look for by far the highest probability setups we can find, really. And if it's not there, we just don't enter. Simple as that. We have a set of criteria. If it doesn't get hit, we don't enter. Very, very simple in that regard. And we just need to build and carry the momentum from this month and not have that affect our mindset, keeping a very emotionless mindset when we're approaching the markets. What was that quote? I'm trying to think. Okay, I remember. Just randomly, I'm going to finish it off after this quote. You are only as good as your last trade. Very, very powerful quote, and I kind of think about that every morning before I start trading. Doesn't matter how good or bad I'm doing the previous month or the previous day or the previous week. It doesn't matter. I'm only good as my next trade, as my next entry, really, because trade management is not so difficult. Entries are difficult, in my opinion, to really snipe. So you're only good as your last entry. So every single entry that you're about to put on is a brand new entry that has no correlation with any other entry that you've ever taken in the past. So make sure that you're patient, make sure it's the one that you want to take, and make sure that you've really, really, really thought about it before you enter, so you look back and say, I am proud of this entry. No matter what happens within the market at this point in time, I am proud of what I entered at this point in time. That's the approach that you would like to have within the markets every single time. Now, obviously, it's a little bit more difficult if you are using the 1-3 minute chart, because it's a lot more fast-paced. You don't have as much time to think about and analyze the market. But overall, you are wanting to be very proud of every single entry that you take. And if it's not an entry that you would be proud of, do not take it. That's how, for me, I've helped myself overcome overtrading, overcome not waiting until good opportunities, because, sometimes, yes, every trader will have times where they may not enter the perfect setup. No matter how good you are, there are times, 100%. No human being is 100% perfect 100% of the time. But as you get experience in the markets over the years, you learn to filter out the bullshit and the negativity, and the trade just do not work. And you get to a point where you have a specific set of criteria that you know that have worked in the past over many, 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 many times, and you stick with it, and you know, because you've traded those shit setups so many times in the past, you just don't fucking take them. Period. End of story. You just don't. It's simple as that. So that's what I'm going to do. There's a little bit of a rant, a little bit more of a crypto market, or more of a day trading live sort of session, but we did go over the many market facets that we are looking for, and that's basically a job well done for the day for this crypto market update. So if you got any questions, definitely drop them in the comments. But until next time, happy trading.